All right, so let's officially start then. Who are you?
My name is Daniel Kaplan, and I'm the CEO on paper at Keepsake Games.
Right, and I'm Philip Kolianos, game director here, and
This is
jump ship.
Alright. Uh, so today the stream will be going on for about 45 minutes. The setup is as scrappy as usual. No investments there. Maybe in the future, we'll see.
We invest in the game.
Yeah,
That's it.
And we thought that today we'll be talking a little bit about the closed beta that we have been running for a week and a half. And we will also be talking about what we'll do during the beta, what will happen after today, etc., and stuff like that, and where we're at with the game.
Right.
And we also thought that we will look a little bit at the suggestion.
Yeah. The
Excel
community
sheets.
sheets answer
Yes,
some hilarious questions about the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the beta and how that's going, because I know that's on top of everybody's mind. We announced that we were gonna invite 500 people. So how has the invites been going?
Good. Most of the emails ended up in the spam box.
Yeah. So that,
but it seems that a lot of people have been playing.
Yeah. I think the important part here is like people maybe expect 500 invites must mean 500 players,
Right?
Because I mean we did not expect that, but I can imagine because we've seen a lot of people trying to figure out, found the app on Steam DB and kind of go like,
where is the only like
where is everybody?
Yeah.
But from our point of view, if we would have 500 actual live players, I think we would be a little bit overwhelmed at this point. We're definitely going to invite more people, perhaps pretty soon. But we needed to kind of start a little bit and see what is the first impressions, what is the immediate feedback from a larger pool of people than just friends and family.
Correct. Yeah, and this is like a testing for us as well, not just for the game. Testing for the whole team to understand like how do we make patches in a good manner, in a good cadence, what kind of intervals should we have on patching, and how big should they be, how small, etc. So this will be a learning experience for the whole team during the whole spring and summer until we launch in early access, basically.
Yeah.
So therefore, like we want to put as little strain and pain on the testers as possible at this time, and that's why we haven't opened it up for more yet.
Yeah, and I think so. Another important part that might not be so obvious for people who are not a developer is that we in the core team are not that used to live services. You are, and we have a few more, but so that the majority of us are not used to the cadence, not really used to working that close with the community. Myself coming from much more of a, you make a single player kind of, all the Haze-like games where you kind of worked super hard for 3 or 4 years, and then you did not even have budget for one patch. It was like, what's on the disc is what it's gonna be. Yeah. So you were like super stressful until one release, and that was it, which is a quite different mindset from what we have to do here, and that's why we kind of start with this thing early. And you have to teach the rest of us how to deal with the community and how often people are expecting updates and stuff like that, and at what sort of quality level that people are kind of okay with. Because like from my world, quality level has to be up here, because like there is no middle ground, because you can't
one shot.
When you're like no, it's not that bad, right? So internally we're figuring that out. And the cadence, of course, all the feedback that's coming, how long is too long, and it's also interesting to see what things people think is important. That's been a big eye opener, I think, like because kind of how many people are playing 4 players and how many people are playing alone, and what are the pain points playing 4 and what are the pain points playing alone, and what is the ratio there, and like. We're going to release sometime this year, right? So we kind of have a certain amount of days left, and then we try to allocate sort of the right proportion on features that matter to the group. And that's really interesting. It's been really enlightening to kind of both see what people kind of instantly are writing about, are upset about, happy about, and then we also have like a little form where we can see like, okay, without the noise, what does people sort of say?
Exactly. And that's something we will be working a lot with during the closed beta sessions, but also after and also during early access, to collect feedback in various ways. Like some of it will be telemetry that we handle on the back end from our side, and some of it will be you, the players, answering surveys or questions that we pop out on, for instance, on Discord or through the emails that you have signed up with or whatever, like different ways. So it's just like to get data from and intel from different places.
Telemetry is really interesting to kind of get in tune with. For example, we know that we have a few levels that are super unbalanced. And we can also see feedback from the current testing group, like these levels are impossible. But then we also need to double check, can we see that in the data? Or do we have to kind of shape the data in a way where the data matches with what we know and what people see? And that's actually more tricky than people might think, is to kind of ask the right questions and collect the correct data.
Yeah, and it's also like the telemetry and the surveys and Discord and Reddit and whatnot. They all like play different roles in this puzzle to figure out what people want and do not like and like, because it's very easy to feel overwhelmed as a developer when a lot of people are commenting on the stuff we've been working on, that people say like, oh, this game is too easy or whatever, and then we check the telemetry and we see like, hey, no one finishes barely the tutorial. Like there's some kind of offset there that we need to go through and see like, why do a bunch of people scream and say it's too easy and other parts like barely finish the tutorial? Like, so it's good to have several sources of truth in a sense.
And that is something that we're going to have to do on a huge scale in this project. Like we know technically how to do all these things, but then it's a whole different thing to actually do it and cross examine.
It's very easy to feel overwhelmed of all of it. Like we just now with the small testers we got, we've already gotten like really good feedback, and we're gonna talk a little bit about it, and we're gonna we've changed already some planning.
Definitely, absolutely.
Thanks to the feedback we gotten.
Maybe
we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. One immediate, not pivot. Like we have a lot of things in planning, but then, like I said before, you have X amount of days, and what should be done next week that we were planning on doing in 4 months, for example. So one of the things is obviously the single player experience, where we kind of have pretty obvious kind of good ideas of where we want that to be. Right. But then when we kind of got feedback, we realized, okay, there's actually quite a lot more people playing alone than we would expect. And I think the first impression would probably be someone like you guys out there on the stream playing alone before you guys invite your friends. You don't want everybody to spend all your money, right? And then
please do though.
and have your friends spending the money and then realizing the game is bad. So the first single player experience, we've always going to support that, but the importance, I guess, we've shifted a little bit.
It's still not going to be perfect. It's still not going to be where we want it to be at, but it will mitigate the worst corner cases when playing alone, I would say. So it will make it easier from the get-go to start playing single player in comparison to where we thought or what we thought we would be doing before early access, for sure.
So these are the things that we're figuring out, and to us, like also like, okay, you do 500 invites. How much posting in Discord is that, and how many people are actually playing out of those 500, and for how long are they playing? Because that's the truth. If people can say the game is great, but if they only play 30 minutes,
maybe it's not so great.
Great 30 minutes, but
that's it.
So that's been a surprise. How long people on average are playing the little demo that we have right now. So that's really interesting. So I think we're definitely going in the right direction. We just have to keep an ear to the ground and listen to you guys, listen to the beta testers to see what they think is important. But what's in store for the near future?
So we're gonna patch. I mean, this is probably not so nice for most of you to know about this, but we're gonna patch the beta branch hopefully next week, and then we'll see how that build goes, and then hopefully by the end of this month, there will be some more nice activities going on. You probably saw me posting about an IGN event, some of you, that will occur on the 24th of February. We're gonna show some new cool stuff. And hopefully, if everything turns out good, we will invite more people at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the idea moving forward is that we will almost work with the closed beta as a released game, meaning that we constantly listen to feedback, constantly doing updates, so that when the actual early access happens later this year, we're already in a routine, and it's almost kind of like the most boring launch we've ever done because it's just somebody pressing a button for the 20th time.
Yes.
Patch number 5.
That's my goal.
Yeah, and I think that's a very sober goal to have, right?
Yeah.
So I am convinced that we will, on a quite tight cadence, bring in more and more of you guys into it, and we'll let you know, of course, when next wave of emails is coming, so you guys can be prepared for that.
And every release on the beta branch will not be good, obviously, because we're still developing big parts of the game, and we will probably break it, and we'll try to fix it, and repeat. And it's gonna be happening throughout the whole year, I guess, till we are in early access. Then, when we are in early access, we obviously want to be as stable as we possibly can. So, yeah, please bear with us, whoever gets invited to beta branch.
Yeah. Does the chat have any questions regarding the closed beta, or something like that? I see there's a lot of people.
Minimum recommended specs to run the game.
Oh yeah. So this one is an interesting one. Performance is something we're actually having a big push on right now. Someone got it working on the Steam Deck and says it's running fine. I don't think it's running fine yet.
No.
But yeah, like we haven't set like a bar, but
No.
The game will run on a Steam Deck to kind of 30 frames or something. We'll have a potato mode where you can get it stable there. If that gives you an inkling of the performance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I can tell you, like most of us in the dev team, we have 3060 Ti as graphic cards.
Yeah.
But the big thing right now with our game is that we're not really that GPU bound. Like the graphics, it's more important to have a fast CPU today for us. But we're still optimizing the game, so we're not there yet. Like it's not really where we want it to be. But yeah, we'll see where we end up with the specs eventually.
Yeah, it's a very tricky game performance-wise because, like I've said before, it's almost like two games in one, where you have like the ships, you have space combat, and then you have regular on foot enemies, and you can seamlessly move in between those areas. So you can even board enemy ships with enemies on the ships, right? So it's like having several levels in parallel with AIs all over the place, effects, shots running all over. So it's technically quite challenging. So yeah, performance is a big challenge for us to
we want it to be as smooth as we possibly can. Like our goal is to make it run super fast on our machines, and then introduce various graphical options that will help mitigate if you have worse hardware, and crank it up if you have better hardware.
Question regarding anti-cheat. I think we've answered this before. But since it's a co-op game, we're not gonna do anti-cheat. Like obviously we don't want people to kind of create a lobby and everybody who joins that lobby gets ruined achievements or whatever, something like that. But apart from that, we're not gonna spend any time. If somebody wants to cheat, they can, do whatever you want.
Yeah, we will have like kick and ban features, I guess. And also like we will try to make sure that you can have several, like some kind of history of your save files, ideally.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can revert if someone does something weird or stupid.
And when you say save files, it's basically your progression.
Yeah, your progression.
So we don't really say the state of the world necessarily. It's more like, oh, you unlocked this cool spaceship or this component. That's what we say. That's what's being stored in a sort of a timeline. So if you join a server that kind of screws up everything, you can always roll back to whatever you had before. How is the flight system? Will we have 6 degrees of freedom? Yes. I'm actually pretty confident now that we will have one of the best flight models in the sort of space sim world. And
I have
when
to take off my shirt now, like so.
Yeah.
Like, oof, I'm getting nervous.
and I take responsibility because I'm the one who coded that. So if you don't agree, here's the face to hate.
Sorry.
Yeah, you get really hot.
I got nervous and I got stuck.
Yeah. So with that said, it's an arcade game. It's supposed to be a game that's kind of like fun and easy to get into. So it's not going to be super technical or difficult. To kind of...
My shirt.
What are you doing?
I got stuck.
So 6 degrees of
We'll fix it
freedom.
in post.
Yeah. No, but it's absolutely 6 degrees of freedom.
Yes.
Do you have any more questions regarding this?
There were questions about the drinks. I saw that one.
Oh yeah. So this is a Brun lager. It's probably Brun is probably Swedish then.
Yeah.
Swedish lager. And you're
then
having a
Pistonhead.
Pistonhead. It's also
Also
Swedish.
Swedish, yes.
Yeah, Swedish beer. It's beer o'clock here.
Always.
2:20.
Will there be any bonuses in the main release for being in the beta? Hopefully.
We're definitely talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We're not sure what it will be, but yeah.
A cool hat. Something probably.
Yeah, we want to show our gratitude to the ones who helped us out for sure.
Do you satisfy with the number of players that joined the beta? I guess you mean, are we happy with the amount of players joining?
Yeah. Or do you mean like the people who got in? I'm not sure. Regardless, we're happy with both.
Yeah, we
can crank it up if we want to in terms of amount of people we want to invite, but we have decided not to do it at this point because we already got a feedback to work with that we need to go through first and patch the current beta we have before inviting more.
Yeah. The pool of people, all of you guys, that's enough. Will there be ship customization, cockpit toys, colors of the ship styles you want to pick your ship? Yes, you will be able to customize your ship colors. I've seen a lot of closed beta testers are in love with the color pink. So yes,
I always think there's a bug in the game because usually when you have like
pink textures are usually like
picture. Yeah. So they'll know it's they just change it to pink.
When it comes to cockpit toys, meaning like, okay, you found a fun plant, I can put it inside my ship. That will not be in the early access like on the first release, but it's definitely coming at some point because it's something that we are super excited about as well. So like I can find things on a mission, place down the ship, and then it stays there.
Hula girl, like I suggested, a classic, a bobblehead.
Yeah.
Or bobblehead.
I actually think we had one because we had like we had a
big head.
We have this Happy Friday, like no Happy Friday, but like we call it like a funny Friday when we do crazy features, and then one of the artists did a bobblehead that you could place in the cockpit. Plans to combat the invites going to spam email. Actually, the plans to combat that is to just release more mails.
Invite more people. Unfortunately, we can't decide if it's coming to the spam or not. It all depends on the email service provider we use and if people, the email provider who gets the email, like that's not something we can control, unfortunately. Let's see. I saw a question here before.
Oh, you were interested. What was that?
Let's see. I'm scrolling up. Spread the community spreadsheet. Yeah. Should we take a look at it? Or should we just continue?
Yeah, there was another question.
Yeah. Xbox beta. Good question.
Yeah.
That's something I want to do for sure. And the Xbox beta will start as well eventually, not at the same time as PC. It's a bit more tricky stuff to do there that we need to figure out together with Microsoft. So we'll get there eventually, and we will invite people to the Xbox beta as well when it's ready.
Will there be plans for beta awards? Will there be an open beta, or is the early access the open beta?
The early access is not the open beta. Hopefully, we'll be in such a good state that the only thing you will be complaining about, now I'm gonna my tongue head out here. The only thing you should be complaining about is the lack of content. Otherwise, everything that's in there should work properly, and we will continue building content till early access, during early access, and after early access as well.
Yeah.
And we're very keen on making sure that the core systems of the game works properly, and the things we want to tweak during early access is the balance of things and create more content of the game.
Will there be an open beta before the early access? I think that's a pressing question.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
If the game and our production capacity allows it, like I really want to try with more people and see like what's the reception.
I think the whole company wants that to happen. I'm pretty confident we can deliver, but I cannot promise.
What month or quarter of year are you aiming for? Let's get back on that later this month.
Yeah, I'm not gonna promise.
Yeah,
but yeah, keep an eye here. Yeah, but I think we'll do a lot of announcements by the end of this month. Will there be a crafting system like in Void Crew for items and modules? Yeah, I mean we have a lightweight.
Yeah, it's yeah. Please.
So you can make items during a run, and the items that you can build is based on your progression. So like what things have you found in the game world and unlocked will be presented. So you can reconfigure and lose components mid-run, and then, or maybe you find something like a relic or an artifact that makes your ship good with sort of certain types of components. You can actually reconfigure your ship mid-run as well. Okay, will there be level/XP issues? My group of 3 only get to play once a week, and sometimes when we play, there's one of the team is ahead and the rest is behind, so we can't play together for certain missions. That is actually not an issue in this game, because the big thing that you're upgrading or progressing is the ship. So, which basically means that if someone in your...
And who owns the ship?
So the host... So if I'm hosting and inviting you guys, we are playing with my ship. So if I'm a bit ahead of everybody, that just means that the ship we're playing on, if I'm the host, is going to be at a higher standard. Cooler guns and stuff like that. So people playing alone for a while and then having friends joining is not going to be an issue. You just agree with who is going to be the host and which ship, or what the host basically decides which ship you're going to fly with, and components like that. So no, when it comes to kind of progression for your character, I know there's been a lot of questions about that. People kind of want it. We know, we hear you, but we are, for now at least, focusing on the progression of the ship and sort of that part of the game. Maybe at some point you will be able to kind of upgrade your character and then kind of get cool abilities, but we absolutely do not want to end up in a situation where you're level 50 and I'm level 10.
And we can't play together.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Are runs going to consist of finite amount of objectives before completion, or will it be run only and when we chose to leave? No, it's a finite. So a mission is basically a series of jumps, which ends with
and a jump is a level.
Yeah. Maybe we could show that at some point later. Oh, maybe I can do it now. Yeah. So let's have a look at the game and we can explain how sort of a mission looks like. All right, here's the game. So exciting! We're seeing the entire game. Whoa! So here's my hangar. Here's my cool ship. You can swap ships, but I'm not going to show you that today. And we can play some football. But where is the ball? It's gone.
I don't know.
And here is our galaxy map where we
I've
pick
marked some
missions.
opportunities that may be worth exploring.
And we're just going to pick something random now to quickly explain how
Mission parameters accepted.
the game works. So I'll pick the mission. We have different mission lengths and challenge ratings. And there's, different missions with sort of whatever. They're going to be different. And then I need to toggle ready. And now we're countdown to starting the mission. And we're going to see a very beautiful temporary cinematic sequence of us launching. This is all work in progress, of course. And then we have the loading screen, and then we will be inside the mission. And basically, a mission is, let's say in this case, we're going to steal some cargo. So now we have arrived at the sort of first jump or first level. And as we can see here, there is a series of jumps that we do in a linear fashion. And we can pick a bunch of different destinations to go to. And if we keep progressing through, we will end up at the cargo ship that we're supposed to get into and steal the cargo.
And the mission length varies a lot, and the amount of jumps as well. So this is kind of like a short-ish.
Yeah, some missions like this one is 4 jumps in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And some can be 6, maybe even 8 or 10 in the future, and some can be even 3 jumps. So depending on how much time you guys have on your hands, depending on the challenge you want, we're planning to make it so that you can there's something for all of you there.
Yeah.
And okay, so what is one jump or level look like? Well, it's kind of a bubble in space. Right now we're flying freely. It's not endless, meaning I cannot fly forever in one direction. At some point, I will hit get back to the battlefield, soldier. So it's a bubble of, I don't know, 5 or 10 kilometers or something like that, where you can fly freely and move freely within, but you cannot fly infinitely in one direction. And so basically, you complete whatever is necessary to be able to jump to the next point. And then at the very end, you steal the cargo, you jump, and then you're back at the hangar. Good job. So that's a very quick teaser explanation. I'm not going to turn it off now. So you're like, oh no, I want to see more. And you're like, no, we're not showing more. Okay. Any other quick questions? Does the spaceship have a roll? Yes.
Yeah, it's got 6 degrees of freedom.
Yes. You can roll.
Yeah.
You can boost. You can do all kinds of things. Can you barrel roll? No.
Sorry, I've tried.
Yeah.
Someone said, can you shoot with the pilot?
Yes.
Yes, you can shoot with the
The
pilot.
pilot has guns, and then you have what's called a combat station, which is basically controlling all the advanced weapons on the ship.
Yeah. And that also depends on if the pilot can shoot or not. It depends on what components you have installed on the ship.
Yeah.
So that depends on the setup you build on your ship.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we see? Should we answer? Or should we jump to my favorite part? Answering the community.
We've been answering community questions all the time.
Yeah, but the sheet is funnier. It's so out there.
But yeah, okay.
Sorry?
No, nothing.
Okay, so let's jump to. Is it this one?
Yes. We're not sharing our screen now, though.
Is this? No, this is not.
They've changed it up a bit. You see suggestions.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, we should share the screen then. But this is empty, huh?
It says trying to connect. Did we drop?
Trying to
connect.
Did we lose connection? Can you guys see us? Okay, cool.
All right. It's just Google, maybe. That is
Google is not our friend.
What?
Maybe we have to skip this part. Ah, here we go. Okay.
We're not sharing the screen now, though. Maybe it's nice to do that.
Yeah, we should. Share the screen for text. Okay. Where are we? Where were we on the list?
Just can continue scroll.
It's a lot of answers here.
Maybe you should have filtered out stuff.
Oh my god, exosuit, yes. For maybe major fights or put in a mission. Yeah, exosuits. So I guess it's like a thing you can put on to become like a super soldier. I've read that before, and I think it's a really cool idea. But we don't have it, so that would be a no.
But yeah, we don't have a request. Yeah, nice. Someone has changed it.
Right. And then we have, I believe limiting those suits with battery could prove frustrating. However, maybe they need a docking station upgrade. I think it's an answer to the exosuit, maybe?
Yeah.
So the suits in the game don't require oxygen or power or anything. So like you won't just die if you spend too much time in space or anything like that. Can we just say copy space tropes like classic later tractor beams, copying Star Trek, Star Wars would be fire. Not like we're getting a good game of those anytime soon. I just want us to jump ship, take that advantage. Okay. I think we are doing a lot of space tropes. We're trying to avoid too much magic.
Mm.
Like everything is too much plasma, like pew, 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 pew. But we are there sometimes. But I think a lot of the sound work and the visuals are a little bit more like you actually shoot bullets.
Yeah.
And
missiles.
missiles and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But sometimes
I guess the closest thing to laser is the railgun in a sense.
yeah. And then we have shields, which is also a bit magically,
Yeah.
but it's also a very powerful kind of design tool. So that's something we use.
Yeah.
Add upgrades trees to weapons and the ship cost materials they can find on planets, maybe? Something so the game doesn't fill up with comparatively garbage items once you get some good stuff. Yeah, I mean, the weapons and items are getting upgraded, so.
But I mean, you usually find them. It's not so much that the weapon itself has an upgrade path per se. Well, not the handguns.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we separate the weapons on the ship. They can be upgraded persistently. So like I can, make a mission or a venture or a challenge that I will upgrade my laser cannon. Let's say if I have one. But then we have the rifles and the SMGs and the assault like handguns, and they get more advanced the further into the actual mission you progress. So like, by the end of the mission, you actually have a little bit cooler SMGs and assault rifles than you have in the beginning to kind of motivate you to kind of like keep swapping these things up and stuff like that. Will this have its own list of songs? Can we just drop MP3s into a folder? We have our own songs.
Yeah.
Dropping
Merengue
MP3s,
is my favorite.
dropping MP3s. I technically think that would be challenging considering we're using Wise.
Yeah.
I don't think we will support them just dropping an MP3.
It's more a technical issue, and also
Yeah.
it has to be streamed to the other players and stuff like that.
Yes, that's tricky. That's a no. Ship weapons with minor explosive capacities for ground support would be amazing. So, okay, I can talk about this. So the player ship that you just saw, is about 75 meters, so it's quite large. And the guns on the ship, they're also very large. Meaning, if you're just shooting with a regular gun for ground support, things will obliterate, including the players. So you can imagine like any ship weapon shooting to clear out enemies on a platform for ground troops will just nuke everything. So you have to be very careful about where you're shooting because you might blow up your friends as well. So this is a definitely yes. And it's not like a specific ship weapon, it's like all ship weapons. Is there a way to play music on the ship through speakers so I can play? Yes. I think we already have Right of Back batteries.
Yes, it was one of the first songs.
Yeah.
Royalty-free songs. Boom.
Yes, that's a hard yes. We already have that. Is there a
yeah, it's toggle.
Please make
toggle sprint.
Oh yeah, sure. Toggle sprint.
We have that. Yeah.
For weapons, I hope the ship gets swarm missiles. That is in the plan, so I can confirm it. Now I just have to make it. Could we attach our grapple hook to part of the ship and then dangle from the ship while it's flying?
Basically, like surfing behind.
Yeah. No, that's actually technically quite challenging to do. It's been talked about in the house here in the office, but no, I would say no. Although it's a very cool idea.
No surfing, no space surfing.
Yeah. This may be an odd question, but during ground missions, is it technically possible that for ships destroyed in atmosphere that they don't just explode, but instead get disabled and fall to the ground? It's more of a time issue. Right now, we don't do that. Like they explode the same regardless of whether they are in space and on a planet, but they do it in such a manner that it kind of doesn't look bad. Like it looks cool regardless, and you don't kind of go like, "Oh, this is a non-gravity explosion." No,
I mean, we have been talking about like if the ship is about to explode and there's like an asteroid nearby that will fly into the asteroid that will create that kind of like explosion on that rock. But it's a bit of a headache to me.
It is, yeah. So I would say, I mean, it looks cool, but we don't make specific ship explosions for atmosphere versus non. And at the same time, when playing, I don't feel like I miss it. It looks kind of cool the way it is. So, please make gun combat available during jetpack use if it isn't already. Yeah, I've actually suggested that. So you can jetpack and shoot. So you become like a small
Space Harrier, that old Sega game.
You become like a small fighter jet. I love that idea. We don't have it yet, and it doesn't really. There is no purpose for that in the game right now, unless you're.
Because it's also so easy to stop and continue. Flying.
Yeah.
Like it's not that it's very hard to start.
But it is a kind of cool idea.
Yeah.
So I'd say cool, but probably not
This year.
next year. Yeah, next year.
Next year, maybe.
I hope there is some kind of weapon tweaking or modification. I guess you find a scope, you put it on your gun. I would sadly have to make you disappointed. We don't have any plans for that.
Not for the handguns.
No. Is there a way to stow your weapon? It looks a bit awkward when you always have your gun out.
Holster.
There is a holster. On age.
Well, it's a bit of a weird feature as well.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that
hidden.
is not to use it, but we do use it in code and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is there. And we've actually gotten some feedback from the closed beta guys that they would expect, like, if the gun is on the number 2 on your keyboard, that if you press 2, you will hide. Press 2 again, it will show it. But right, so it's like a toggle.
I think it's also like a confusing. Like you would probably forget that.
Yeah, if you like double tap. It's
Yeah. Like, oh, why didn't they
where's the gun?
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a holster, and it's on age right now. It's a separate
Age.
I don't know what a gamepad can support it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really nice idea that it came in as incoming transitions, and it was a side mission to tactical objectives. You would spend more time risking your ship and resources and exchange. Oh, like spontaneously,
like side missions. In the
side
mission.
things.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. We haven't thought about that.
I mean, we've been talking about like finding hidden, like derelict space stations. If you're able to scan them and find them, and then kind of like you go on your own side mission per se, but not really like someone calls in for help or something like that.
No, but I wouldn't say for early access, but
yeah,
we've talked about like, okay, maybe a ship jumps in that needs help.
Yeah, exactly.
Which becomes a side mission, I guess.
It becomes its own event. Yeah.
So
that'll be cool.
Later.
Yeah.
Kind of a basic suggestion, but maybe drop pods and or escape pods for either a quick landing or a second chance. So
for respawning the player, I guess.
Yeah. Drop pods. I mean, right now you just jetpack.
Yeah.
Like straight to like that kind of works like a drop pod almost.
You're quite quick when jetpacking around. Like
and then jetpacking back to the ship is kind of quick, and then you just grapple onto it. So we don't really have a need for.
But there is a cost to revive yourself unless a team member helps you out. So yeah.
Somebody marked pod racing out of scope.
Yeah.
How would you ever dare to do that? Who doesn't love the pod racing? No, we don't have pod racing. Okay. be able to pick up a destroyed robot and reprogram them to work on your side and shoot enemies until they are destroyed. Yeah, no, we don't have that. I pretty much prefer blowing them up to reprogramming them. What if you just reprogram like 200 robots?
Well, you just sit around and see them fight for it.
Yeah, and like your frame rate is like 0, like
let's go for one last question and then we'll go back to the chat.
yeah, it's
Maybe
weird.
you just scroll down.
Some are already answered.
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
Or is this?
Would love to see some kind of support functionality that a person on the ship can do to assist the away team, like map access, door override, scanning them to the loot.
Mhm.
So that level of detailed kind of integration is actually something I prototyped way back. It's a bit too involved, so we're not gonna do that. I think the type of support you will get from the ship is the artillery part, like having somebody like shooting while there are two guys on the ground. But that kind of level of detail where you're like on the ship, kind of, I don't know,
Hacking
hacking.
doors and closing.
It's a cool idea, but 90% of the time you will just sit there like
Wait.
waiting. Oh, you're there. Why can't you? Okay, move to the next thing. Oh, like why are you looting now? So it's actually not that fun. Most of the time you just sit and wait. And we don't want that. We want everybody to be involved and kind of do
Yeah,
stuff.
and there are sections in the game where you're supposed to all of you leave the ship. And so you do a mission on foot and then you return back to the ship. And obviously there are like missions that are all like on the ship or
Yeah.
0G. So there's a the idea is not that you need to have someone sitting by themselves on the ship and wait for the other guys to have fun.
Yeah. All right, so we jump back to the
Discord.
to the Discords. I guess we're running out of time.
We have 5 minutes ish
Yeah.
left. And any last minute questions, or do you want to say anything?
I think the main message now is to keep an eye out. Like you said, we have announced now that we're gonna be part of the what do they call the event itself? The IGN thing.
Idea at Xbox with IGN. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hosted by IGN, but
Yeah.
it's an Idea at Xbox show.
And together with that event, we also have a lot of other things planned. So there's going to be a lot of media, and we're going to show more of the game.
Yeah.
And we're super excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff we have, it looks really awesome.
We have Captain Barbosa asking a question up there.
My question: this genre of game hasn't been classified yet. I've been calling this vessel co-op. Honorable mention: Sea of Thieves, Pulsar, Void Crew. Do you believe? Would you classify your game as a vessel co-op? I think the name needs some.
Does it need some mainstream?
But if we need to classify it as that, we would fall into that category for sure.
I guess we would put in Borrowed Trauma and those.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. But we don't need to label things. Like, just look at the metal scene. No, it's like too many subgenres.
Yeah. As far as I know, crossplay is in the plans, but it won't be part of the initial release. I can tell you crossplay is currently not in the plans. That's something we would want to explore, but way later. It's really like tricky from a release and production standpoint to make it work properly, because there will always be like, it's just like a big headache to make it work. We're too small of a team for it.
I mean,
we won't have crossplay anytime soon.
Yeah, just to fill in a little bit, like let's say we would have a PC store, Steam, for example. Like the process of pushing an update to Steam is almost instant, versus consoles, where it's a whole other thing going on, for good reasons. But it just makes it really difficult, and sort of we would almost have to appoint one person doing that full time just to make sure everything is fine. What if you do something on PC that breaks the consoles? Double, like it just becomes
too many moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. And that's sort of like, it's not us just saying that. That is like all developers agree that it's kind of difficult unless
is.
you're a huge title.
And that's something I mean, it's easier to explore those kind of things when things have stabilized way more than we
Yeah.
have than in comparison to the state we are in today and
Yeah.
will be during early access.
PC Master Race, yeah. Absolutely.
I saw another support here. Any plans to expand the team?
Almost.
Yeah, I mean,
we keep saying, we're not going to be. Okay, so we started with saying we're not going to be more than 12.
Yeah.
Today we are
14,
14,
soon 15,
soon 15,
maybe 16.
depending on how you count.
Yes, but the idea is to not. I mean, it all depends on how successful the game will be as well. Like it's not. People don't work here for free, unfortunately. But
Unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, it's something we're very careful about. Like we want to make sure that we try to build as a sustainable business as possible, and that's something we will explore while early access. It all depends on the success of the game.
Yeah.
That's
But
the
I
thing.
think sort of the mentality of Keepsake is that we want to keep the team as small as possible.
Yeah.
We
Like
wanna feel like-
everyone sits out here, like just behind us.
Yeah.
You can see half of the team.
Half of the
screen.
team is there, and
Yeah.
you're like, but it's just 2 screens. I'm like, yeah. So, and I think to us, I mean, we come from working with big AAAs,
Yeah.
large companies, everything from 500 down to this size, and we prefer the small size because then everybody knows everybody, and everybody has hands on, and that's how we like to run
Our projects.
our projects, basically. Will there be a jump ship movie? I hope not. That would be such a pain.
If the Minecraft movie is successful, we'll make a jump ship movie.
Have to be involved in that. Like, no. I think there are
You know,
so many great sci-fi franchises out there. Like, we don't need to make a movie out of this game.
Yeah.
Fan-made movies, absolutely. Like, yes,
Sure.
but like, yeah, no.
All right.
Is that it?
I think so. If you want to take one last.
Okay, if you all have one last question,
Yeah.
post it now and we can answer it and then say thank you so much. Oh, Jesus. Would you consider to make monthly or weekly change of missions or
Oh,
events,
yeah, that's a good one.
or
Yeah.
will the missions stay the same? Yeah, we generate most of the galaxy map with rules, of course, but we don't know if they're going to update hourly or every time you start up the game. But like it's like the map will update. The regions you will unlock in sort of a linear fashion, kind of. You complete different types of ventures and challenges to unlock new regions with new missions and new challenge ratings, as we call it, the difficulty. They will stay the same. But whatever missions are inside of that are actually kind of random, or not. I hate the word random because through random is super bad, but it's randomized.
Yeah.
With rules.
And it would be really cool to have like this kind of time missions. They're only available like a weekend, or this week we have to fight the
super hard, like challenge rating 200. You're like, what? That doesn't even exist. Yeah, we made one for this weekend. That would be awesome.
But we're not there yet. But that's something we want to explore eventually.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good, I don't know, morning, afternoon, evening, no matter, like, I don't know where you all are. But take care, guys.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.